us actually experience the serenity of our streams because not many of us come to visit them. The following presentation is an attempt to bring the streams to you so perhaps one day you will visit them to share in their beauty and learn more of their importance. One of the intents of this presentation is to illustrate the reasons for the MS4 permit. More importantly, this presentation was meant to explain why all of us need to take more responsibility in the health of our streams. It is important to note that forested areas absorb far more water from precipitation than what grassed areas do, while grassed areas absorb more precipitation than impervious surfaces such as roads, rooftops, driveways, and sidewalks. When it rains on the forest, the limbs and leaves known as the canopy, along with the thick, humus soil, absorb the rainwater, while the tree roots also take up this water. This process greatly delays the water from reaching the nearby stream or sinkhole, thus resembling the natural state of Middle Tennessee before the arrival of the colonialists during the 1700s. Grasslands do not delay the flow of water nearly as well as forests, thereby allowing larger volumes of water to reach the stream much sooner than what the stream was designed to carry. Trees are the most important factor protecting the health of a stream. The root mass holds the bank material in place while individual roots that protrude into the stream provide habitat for fauna, also known as animals. The roots take up nutrients which may include pollutants that are found in the groundwater as it moves towards the stream during the dry months of the year. The tree canopies provide shade over the stream, keeping the water temperature cooler in the hot summer in comparison to no canopy. Cooler stream water means higher oxygen concentration, which means healthier conditions for fauna. At least 5 parts per million oxygen concentrations must exist in stream water to sustain fish populations. Based on a town-wide 2010 MTSU dye trace study, the water coming out of this spring could have entered the ground anywhere between this Brandon Trail site and the Sam Ridley Parkway interchange of Interstate 24, some 4 miles to the west. A relationship exists between the stream water and the groundwater found in the adjacent banks and surrounding earth. Actually, these are both the same body of water, while only the stream water is actually visible. During the wet winters and springs, streams carry so much water that the water actually moves into the bank material, thus recharging or adding water to the surrounding groundwater. Conversely, during the dry summer and falls, streams carry much less water, enabling the surrounding groundwater to recharge the stream at locations known as springs or seeps. The worst pollutant in Tennessee and the nation is sediment. For the most part, sediment originates from either construction sites or eroding stream banks. The Stormwater Management Program has been very busy for the past 6 years controlling construction sites to the point that nowadays there is very little sediment leaving any site. This leaves eroding stream banks as the leading source of sediment loading. The other major stream pollutants are litter and chemicals. Litter, especially cigarette butts and plastic shopping bags, harm the animals found in and around the stream by reducing oxygen concentrations in the water, killing their food supplies, and damaging their homes or habitat. Chemicals, especially automotive fluids and pesticides and herbicides, add poisonous substances known as toxins to the stream. These toxins kill the insect larvae that fish eat, causing the fish to either die or migrate downstream where these pollutants may be less concentrated. It is important to note that while stream water is owned by all Tennesseans, the land beneath the stream is usually owned by the landowner on either side of the stream. Because no municipality is allowed to perform work on private property, the town of Smyrna is prevented from removing any trees from the stream. Also keep in mind that removing large trees from the stream will require large equipment, which can significantly harm existing trees living along the banks. It is also important to note that a state ARAP permit is required for any in-stream work needing anything other than handheld equipment. Check the weather forecast before paddling a float trip to avoid dangerous electric, high wind, and heavy precipitation storm events. Immediately leave the stream if these conditions should arise. Assess the speed of the stream before committing to a float trip to avoid speeds that are too swift to safely navigate. Novice paddlers should avoid streams with any significant stream speed. Learn if there are any low-head dams present and where you must portage to avoid accidentally going over them before paddling a float trip. Always portage a safe distance upstream from the Gregory Mill and Sam Davis low-head dams. Strong reverse flow currents often exist at the stream base of these low-head dams, which can easily capture and drown you. The paddler in the bow of the boat should be wary of deadfalls or strainers. These are submerged trees including limbs, trunks, and roots, which can easily trap your foot if you should capsize. Take extra caution not to capsize when these are present. As is the case with any outdoor outing, never enter a stream without already telling a reliable person not accompanying you where you are putting in and taking out and when you expect your float trip to end. Wear a properly sized U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket before paddling a float trip. Never remove your life jacket while in your boat or standing in or near the water. Unless you are a very experienced paddler, you have no business paddling solo. Always try to place the heavier paddler in the stern or the rear of the boat. This paddler should also be the most experienced of the two. This paddler is to set the pace of paddling and to navigate based on information provided by the other paddler. The role of the paddler in the bow or front of the boat is to check for obstructions in or above the water and assist in paddling and navigating. Never overload a boat with people, pets, or supplies. Always make certain someone is firmly stabilizing the boat before boarding and exiting. Always board a boat by placing feet directly in the center of the boat, bending at the waist, holding onto the gunnels at locations directly across from one another, and sitting down as gently as possible. Once situated, always face forward. Never turn around, never stand up, or move around unless the boat has been firmly stabilized by the other paddler. Paddling of a boat should be done by using the shoulders, arms, and upper torso by reaching and pulling of the paddle while keeping your motion in line with the length of the boat. Never dive out of a boat and never jump into water that you are not certain is completely free of deadfalls and shallow rock. And finally, please remember, alcohol, drugs, and horseplay should never be part of any float trip. it's through this next segment of stream that the FBI had the town of Smyrna and others help them out in the Annalise Guerra investigation. There were two inflatable dams that were installed in the creek, one just about in this area that we are now, filled with creek water, and then another one about the equal distance from the bend at the dental office down there behind the food line. And the second one was placed down there beyond the bend. And then this entire amount of stream here was pumped dry, and the water was taken across this bend on the property here on the river left and discharged back into the stream below the second dam. During that period, I had the opportunity to take some photographs of the stream bottom as it was dry. And I would say there are at least 30 or 40 trees laying at the bottom of the banks under the water level, normal water level, in their entirety, roots, trunk, and branches. A little graveyard of trees all lined up parallel with the bank. Now, upstream of us, on the other side of Eden Spring Bridge, we had a lot of trees that had not been taken down by older agricultural practices. And the fact that the trees would have a hard time crossing underneath that bridge indicates to me that most of those trees came from this segment that we've just paddled. And we've seen plenty of trees along here that are just about to fall in. So the agriculture years and years ago did not leave much of a riparian zone along the stream bank. And as time has gone on and the water level, the hydrograph of the stream has raised during storm events, we've lost even more trees due to the erosion of the stream banks. Well, I'd say for canoers, the Gregory Mill Dam would be a good place to put in when the water level's down. You can put in from river left back there. We've done that before. You've got to be able to walk over the spillway, though. So the water has to be fairly low. You can walk over the spillway and then lower your boats down the front of the dam on the far side of the dam from where we took out. You can also put in down here at Sam Davis, but you would have to gain permission from the Sam Davis home. Talk to those folks there. And then, of course, there's also a place where we'll be taking out down at the Fitzhugh Trailhead, which is just downstream of where Sam Davis Parkway crosses over Stewart Creek. Fitzhugh is the entrance to the National Guard from Sam Ridley. Those are the three major spots I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, then the furthest one downstream, the fourth one, would be Volunteer Park. The water's pretty calm down there, but you can put in there if you'd like to go out on the lake and do some lake paddling. It's not quite as exciting as up here, but that is a city park that you can put in. There's a concrete drive there where people launch their boats. You want to pull over that way?